So, at the beginning of the story, we're shown Pulau Island, which also happens to be the title of today's film. There's a small village where a woman is sitting and crying a lot actually, because she misses someone dearly. Then in a cave, we see a dark ritual taking place. A woman there is performing black magic meant to destroy someone. But what's the secret behind this place? And who was that woman who was crying? We'll find out all of that as the story unfolds. Now the story shifts to a girl named Kate, who has been seeing all of this. The same scene we saw at the beginning. She doesn't understand any of it. Why is she seeing these things? Actually, this happens to Kate quite often. Whatever she sees in her visions and dreams, she never sees the full picture. Just flashes and fragments. Anyway, Kate meets up with her friends. They had planned a trip to an island for vacation. When they all arrive there, Kate runs into her stepsister, who came with her own group. The two don't get along at all. Being in the same place only makes things worse between them. But still, everyone goes to their rooms. Later, Kate starts hearing a man's voice in her visions again. He's calling out to a woman named Lo and Molly and saying, "We'll never be apart." The voice scares her, so two of her friends come to check on her. Meanwhile, outside by the pool, Kate's friend Kai is talking to another guy. He tells him that he really likes Kate and plans to tell her soon. He's even brought her a bracelet as a gift. Later that night, everyone sits down for dinner. While one of Kate's friends is smoking, a woman appears beside him, clearly upset at the sight. But here's the strange part. The friend can't see her at all. That's when we realize she's actually a spirit, the boy's mother, and only Kate is able to see her. Now the next morning, Kate's friends and her friend's stepsister's group all go together to another island. While they're out there, they spot the same Pulau island nearby. The one they saw at the beginning of the story that seemed to be drawing their attention. Everyone tells the boatman to take them there, but he refuses, warning them that the place is extremely dangerous and strictly off limits. "I can't take you there," he says. Kai tries to tempt him with more money, but the boatman still refuses. He looked genuinely terrified just hearing the name of that island. Anyway, they all stop in the middle of the sea and start swimming. Everyone's having fun, laughing, and enjoying the water, until Kate drifts away from the group. She notices strange structures underwater that make her uneasy. She sees scenes of rituals, dark magic, and dying people, all playing out before her eyes. Terrified, she passes out in the water. When Kai resurfaces, the others tell him that Kate hasn't come up yet. Panicked, he dives back in to search for her. Even the boatman and his helper join the search, both looking extremely worried, their faces showing they knew something was wrong. After a while, Kai finally pulls Kate out of the water. She's in bad shape and looks completely terrified. That's when the boatman tells them, "That island has its own dark story. That's why I refuse to take you there." He goes on to explain that a woman once cursed that island and took the lives of everyone who lived there. And no one ever found the bodies of the people who were killed. Even today, some say there's still a curse on that island. That's why everyone is warned to stay far away from it. Everything that happened to Kate today seemed like a warning, a sign that they should leave before it's too late. The boatman had told them countless stories before he left, but they didn't believe a word he said. Instead, they started playing games and made a bet. The losing group would have to spend one night on the cursed island. The game began, and Kate's group ended up losing. Kate's friend's sister's team reminded them of the bet. Now they had to go to the island. As they were leaving, Kate told her friend, "I'm getting weird feelings about that island." Hearing this, her friend said, "Relax. You just heard the story of that place. That's probably why you're feeling like this." Her sister's group dropped them off on the island. Kate and her friends had no choice but to spend the entire night there, in a place people believed to be cursed. As they explored the island, they came across a village. Ropes were tied across the entrance, and strange statues surrounded it, as if warning people to stay away. But Kate's friends ignored the signs and untied the ropes. They walked into the village and saw old houses with odd markings and writing on the walls. Kate felt uneasy and told everyone to stop mocking what they didn't understand. But no one listened. Night fell. Kai suggested they sleep inside one of the abandoned houses he found, saying it was better than camping in the jungle. Everyone agreed and went inside to rest. But soon Kai's friends began to feel uneasy, as if someone was watching them. Later that night, Kate woke up to the sound of a woman crying. Following the sound, she saw a vision, a woman weeping over a man's lifeless body, surrounded by the villagers. The village leader tells everyone, "Whatever happened here today, no one will ever speak of it again." Then the same woman is shown inside a cave, but now in a horrifying form, performing black magic. This means the villagers must have wronged her somehow. And that was the opening scene. Now it's morning. Kate wakes up in the same house where everyone else is still sleeping. She looks terrified, which means whatever she saw last night must have just been a dream. Everyone was ready to leave the island. Standing by the shore, they were waiting for the same group that was supposed to come and pick them up. According to the plan, they had already spent one night on the island, but by evening, no one had arrived. Everyone started to worry. Kate's friend shows a photo on her phone of everyone sleeping, which was very strange. She says, "Kate, we were all asleep at that time, so who could have taken this picture?" Kai also sees the photo. Kate tells her friend, "Don't show this picture to anyone. It'll only scare them." Meanwhile, on another island, the group that included Kate's friend's sister was laughing and joking. They were saying how easily they had tricked Kate and her friends. The boatman overhears them and asks, "Where exactly did you leave them? How could you do something so foolish?" He quickly tries to call Kate, but no one answers. He then leaves a voice message. "If you're still on that island, there's a village there. Don't go there. It's dangerous. A woman performed black magic in that place, and she's still there. But that man didn't know it was already too late." Kate and her friends had already reached that village. Now on the island of Pulau, Kate and her friends decided to spend the night in the same house as before, the one where they had stayed earlier. When everyone fell asleep, two of Kate's friends quietly went outside to explore. The cave where they had once seen a woman performing black magic suddenly came alive again. That same woman had awakened. After 20 long years, it's said that after performing that dark ritual, the woman had turned into a witch. Whenever someone set foot on the island, she would rise again, and no human would ever leave alive. Now that witch dragged one of Kate's friends away into the darkness. While Kate was sleeping, she suddenly woke up in fear. She had just dreamed of the villagers' deaths. Kai asked her, "Why do you look so scared?" She replied, "I feel like we've been brought here on purpose." Just then, one of Kate's friends came running in, terrified and crying. She told them that something had grabbed their friend and taken him away. Everyone immediately rushed to search for him, but they couldn't find anyone, so they returned to the house. The friend who had disappeared, the one the witch had taken, was actually Kai's brother. Kai was devastated by what had happened. Meanwhile, the witch was drinking his brother's blood to regain her strength. The next morning, Kai told everyone to split up and search for his brother. Everyone went out except for one friend, who stayed behind in the house in case the brother returned. Despite searching tirelessly, they found no trace of him, because the witch had already killed him. When Kate and the others came back to the house, they saw blood there too. It meant the witch had taken the friend they had left behind. Everyone is terrified. Kai tells everyone to go back to the beach. Maybe someone will come to rescue them. When they get there, they hear a recording left by the boatman, telling the same story they'd heard before. He had warned them to stay away from the village. It turns out the woman we saw performing black magic at the beginning of the story eventually turned into a witch, and she killed all the villagers. The villagers tried many times to destroy her, but it wasn't that easy. Finally, a priest arrived and performed a ritual. He sealed the entire village with a sacred rope so that the witch would be trapped inside. But Kate's friends, out of their own foolishness, cut that rope and freed the witch. Now from a distance, they see the boatmen and their friends coming to rescue them. But then, boom, the boat explodes right before their eyes, killing everyone on board. Kate turns to everyone on the shore and says, "The witch won't let us go that easily. I saw it in my vision. Everything we just heard is true. First, we have to end this curse that's haunting the village," she says. "Only then can we escape." They all tie the rope again. Kate suddenly remembers the grave she had seen in her vision. When they reach it, Kate touches the grave and immediately sees the witch's entire story, what really happened to her and who she truly was. Kate realizes she wasn't always a witch. Her real name was Molly, the same name mentioned at the beginning of the story. One day, a young man from another village came to visit, and Molly fell in love with him. They got married and started living together. But the people in Molly's village didn't approve of their marriage. Out of anger, they murdered her husband, leaving Molly completely devastated. In her grief, she went to a cave and began practicing black magic. So the woman we saw crying and performing rituals at the start of the story was actually Molly. Through her dark magic, Molly transformed into a powerful witch, cursed the entire village, and killed everyone who lived there. After learning the whole story, Kate tells her friends everything. They have to go to that cave because that's where everything can finally be set right. So they all head toward the cave. As they're on their way, Molly keeps watching them from the shadows. When they cross a small canal, the Molly Witch suddenly attacks, taking one of their friends with her. Kate is heartbroken. Now only 4 of them remain. That night, they stop to rest. While Kate is talking with her friend, she hears a strange voice. It turns out to be Molly Witch trying to trick them. She appears in front of them disguised as her friend's mother. Then she lures another one of Kate's friends away. Now only 3 are left: Kate, Kai, and one more friend. They finally find the cave where Molly Witch used to live and perform her dark rituals. When they go inside, they see the witch killing one of their friends before turning to attack them. Kai fights back. In the chaos, Kate finds a doll. As soon as she picks it up, the entire story becomes clear to her. Molly was once pregnant, but when the villagers killed her husband, they also killed her, causing her unborn child to die as well. That's why Molly cursed the villagers, because of the death of her child. If her baby had survived, she never would have become a witch. After realizing the truth, Kate takes the doll and runs out of the cave. The witch follows right behind her. Kai and his friend try to stop Molly but fail. The witch kills them too. Now Molly herself chases after Kate, who has reached the place where Molly's house once stood. Here, Kate sees all her past moments. That's when Molly appears and tries to kill her. But Kate says the same words her husband once used to say. Kate tells her, "You've buried all your pain inside, Molly. Let it out." As Molly begins to cry and relive her painful memories, she finally heals. She transforms back into her real self, leaving behind the witch's form, and crosses over to the afterlife. The curse on the village is lifted, and Molly throws Kate into the water. We then see that Kate was sent back to the moment when she first went swimming in the sea with her friends. A hand pulls her out of the water. It's Kai's. Kate is overjoyed to see all her friends alive again. She had freed Molly from the witch's curse, and the village was finally at peace. In the final scene, we see Molly and her husband, showing how they first met. And with that, the story of this film comes to an end. Let me know your thoughts. Also subscribe to this channel for more stories like this.